Hi everyone. The last video in system design, we have seen how to approach the use case of shorten the URL, who uses it, what is the use cases behind it, what are the advantages of using a short URL. That's what we have seen in that video. Now we can go more into depth and breadth analysis. How depth we can go. See, the use case for shortening the URL is who uses it. For the use cases are like the referral programs, or if you are doing a campaign or marketing programs, which platform can help you more, or which platform URL is being used effectively. We can do all this analysis using this short URL, one of the use case we have seen, and we approached how we can design it. Now we'll go a little bit further. First, we gathered all the functional requirements. The functional requirements here is like we have to encode a lengthy URL. Then that's supposed to be converted as a encoded as a shortened URL and send it back to the client. Now the second functionality would be, this is for the client which we have given the short URL to someone and they are using it. They when they click or enter this URL, short URL, we have to take that URL and again decode the URL and send it to the actual lengthy URL to give the response. So it's like two kind of functionalities. If you look at it in the higher level, if you put two functions into one system, that is like a monolith architect. We can discuss more about monolith. Think about if one system is doing a one functionality, then we can have a one microservices. If one system is doing multiple functions, that's when like this monolith architecture come into picture. So how we want to design it, like in this case, like even though it has a two functionalities but are more related to not much, that's when like we have to ask the requirements, like how they want it. Like when yesterday we were discussing about, we were telling about if you want more, the client is looking for any analytics service, then that can be another microservices. So it's all depends on it, like whether we want to go as an approach of monolith or like a microservices approach. This case, like pretty much simple. This requirements only two of the functions, like encode the URL and decode the URL. So there are two functionalities. So better to go with one microservices. And again, people will ask, right, like how the scalability and again how the traffic. These are the, like once you build the system, once you build it, like then we can slowly improve it. How we can improve it? First, we have to think about like one microservices does the job of finding one microservices. It's like do the two functionalities. Once it's done, what we can do is this the end product which we are going to give it to client, or each, if we are thinking about two microservices, we have to go more dive deep into like why we need two services for a single functionality, for two simple functionalities. If the client is giving more ask, like if you encode it, I need a custom encode. Even the domain name supposed to be a meaningful name, and the back part, like the third part, will be the meaningful name. These all can be done, but we have to get the inputs from the user how they want it, and again we have to do a validation saying that this URL is being exist in the in the website, or already existing in the naming directory. That check we have to do. That's an external check. So the functionality of the scope is getting increased. So once randomly generating, it's not a problem at all. We just generate random things and we maintain those things. But again, if it is custom used, then we have to think about how to give how we can give it back to the users. And the third thing, like analytics, as I was telling to mentioning this analytic part, if the user wants like how many users has been clicked, and I want to know what is the traffic, and again how it's been where and it all they want to deploy, and who is going to use it. So those kind of details is more functionality, right? This is like when you are encoding it and again decoding it, like this is going to happen. So when you consider these things, like this will go in another level of the microservices are a design path which we have to take it. It's all depends on the customer needs, right? So that's when I was telling about, like, when you look at from that higher perspective, or 10,000 foot view, you see only two of them. But when we go deeper, our functional requirements are coming more, then we have to think more. So we have right now only one microservices. We simply execute it, and again traffic. Definitely, it should be like we have to think like based on the customer need. If the customer is going to customer base is like long heavy, then we have to think of like deploying multiple services, say multiple instances in the web server, in a way that like we will be able to accommodate the scalability. And this is one of the most famous problem to ask in interviews, like system design interview. This is one of the main question. So when we look at design, system design, we have to start from functional requirements, gathering it, and again we have to do a breadth and depth analysis based on the customer requirements, and again we have to recommend few things to understand if their need or like the scope getting increased. We should be able to, there is a rule, right? Like the system should not allow for modification, but should be allowed for to extend. It is like if you have existing functionality, that should accommodate even for the new functionality to be added, not modified the existing thing. That's what, like, this is one of the rule which we do it in the clean code, where the solid principles, one of them, like one of the principle we say. So whenever we do it as a design, like we consider this solid thing. And we when I develop a code, like I'll do a demo on another thing. Thank you for watching the system series. I'm coming with many more topics in it. So far, like the URL shortening is the first version. I'll be doing it like more implementation, like we'll do it in part by part. Thank you all for watching. Bye.